So we all listen to music, right? Doesn't matter if it's pop, rock, rap, or something else, we all probably listen to some sort of music in our everyday life. For me, there's plenty of artists I enjoy. MF Doom, Aphex Twin, and Radiohead are favorites of mine. But my absolute favorite are Gorillaz. They're a cartoon band created by Blur's Damon and artist Jamie Hewlett, and are extremely popular. They started in the 2000s and are still going to this day. There's 7 albums, 8 if you count the fall, and most of them are generally well received, with a couple of exceptions. I am a huge fan of Gorillaz. I love them so much. My personal favorite album is self-titled, and my favorite song is Do Ya Ting, the 13-minute version, of course. If you haven't listened to that song, please do. It's absolutely amazing. Look, I even have 8 of their albums on vinyl. Wow, I must really be a fan. Today I'll be talking about their most recent release, Cracker Island, the lead up to its release, everything surrounding the album, and of course, the album itself. If you've read the title of the video, you can probably guess what my opinion on this album is. I think it's not very good. Before I begin, I must state, this video is all my opinion. I know there's tons of people that love this album, and that's okay. You're all great people, I'm sure, and I don't want you dead. But please be respectful of mine and other people's opinions. At the end of the day, it's just a silly album. And also, sorry if I'm not very in-depth with the lore. I'm just not very caught up with it. Again, very sorry about that. I will make any corrections to any lore bits I get wrong in a pinned comment down below, so yeah. Before we even talk about Cracker Island, we gotta touch on the previous album, which was Song Machine. Song Machine was a very unique concept, with its songs being released in episodes alongside music videos. And guess what? The album itself was really good. Other fans seemed to enjoy it, and so do I. The songs all felt unique while also fitting together. The collaborators were all amazing, mostly. And it was also labeled as Season 1. Holy shit guys, does this mean there's gonna be more albums like this? And so, once it was released, we waited for the next phase. There were a few bad decisions by the band in between the wait, such as an announcement of NFTs, but it wasn't all bad. There was an EP release called Meanwhile. It was teased in an interview at first as new carnival-themed music. Yeah, it was alright. Meanwhile, the song is very relaxing, but can be a bit forgettable. Sometimes I just forget it exists. The song Jimmy Jimmy is very repetitive, but very catchy, honestly, and was released as a single. The last song on Meanwhile was Deja Vu, and it's my personal favorite. I honestly just love how it sounds, and the collaborator is great on it with her singing. Now, 2022. Now that's when the new album Hype Terrain really began. Gorillaz had a live tour this year. There were teases of a new album, with promotion relating to the Static channel. Holy shit, is this the new phase? What a cool name. Wow, let's hope they stick with it. They also played 2 new songs live, which we now know to be Cracker Island and Silent Running. On June 22nd, 2022, Cracker Island was released as a single, alongside a teaser of 2D sitting in a car, with the music video releasing on July 28th. So let's talk about this track. Cracker Island, the song, features the artist Thundercat for bass and vocals. In an interview, Damon stated,
I think the Cracker Island is a sort of the idea that people have kind of some mad ideas, can all kind of live together happily in their own kind of echo chamber.
He also stated that there were several other islands, and each song would revolve around an island. The song itself is actually pretty good. Sure, it does feel very repetitive at times, but that works in a favor for this song. I really like the occult parts. The instrumental really picks up at those parts, and it goes so fucking hard. Thundercat, as mentioned before, did the bass, and yeah, you can tell, it's amazing. I'd describe Thundercat's vocals as otherworldly, trying to lure you into whatever the cult referred to in the song is. I'd also probably refer to the song in general as otherworldly. It's very out there with its synths. Great start to the album overall. Now, let's talk about the music video. It follows 2D as he gets interrogated by some police officers, as in the meantime he also gets haunted by a ghostly Thundercat, or he just might be hallucinating, I don't know. Right away you can notice that they made new models for the band. They're more cartoonish than any other previous models. Okay, maybe this Murdoch one from the Now might compare to these models, but apart from that, they're very distinct. These look good, and look just like the artwork. Russell has this tint in his eyes, not sure how to describe it, but he basically is pink in his eyes. The music video itself is very pretty, especially the shot of 2D. Thundercat's ghostly appearance really helps the video a ton. He really pops out whenever he appears, and I think the ghost lady here is cool too. Speaking of the ghost lady, I have no idea what's happening here, but I don't care. The pretty colors are nice. It looks like the Static Channel team is back with Russell, with him watching this TV. In storyboards, this thing that appeared was also supposed to be the ghost girl, and Noodle would have had more of a role in the video. Yeah, sadly she does barely anything in the actual video, so I wish they kept the storyboards intact, at least in that way. Dude, this Murdoch storyboard is so fucking funny, it makes me want to merge without looking. Oh, and this shot of Murdoch in the actual video is so good, it's just wow. So yeah, this video is actually good, and so the song. Great stuff, Gorillaz. 3 banger albums in a row, perhaps? On the 31st of August, the name of the album was revealed to be Cracker Island. Okay, the Static Channel was a way cooler name, but it's just the name of the album, so it's not a very big deal. The track list was also revealed alongside a new single, New Gold, featuring Tame Impala. Okay, so this is when my opinion of the album really starts to sour. Let's discuss the collaborators on this track first. Tame Impala is a music project created by Kevin Parker. You might know him from his album Currents, and he contributed to the instrumental on this track and also did some of the vocals. You can feel how much he did for it. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the vocals, but I think the instrumental is pretty good. I enjoy how out there it sounds, with the synthesizers especially. I want to stay positive for a little while longer, so I want to mention that I love the art for the track. It's pretty cool. I love Murdoch here especially. I just love Murdoch in general. Okay, so the other collaborator on this track is Booty Brown. You may know him from his verse on the track Dirty Harry from Demon Days, which he absolutely destroys. He's so good on that track, and he's sadly, not as good as in this one. I think he single-handedly ruins the entire song for me, as he makes 50% of it. He doesn't have the same flow as he does on Dirty Harry, or most of his other tracks for that matter. He sounds very bored. And also, the "Are we losing our minds?" part sucks. It's not good. It's a shame, honestly, as the rest of the track is pretty good. I actually found a version on YouTube which just goes ahead and removes him from the track entirely. That's kind of funny. The visualizer for the song is alright. I don't think I can say much about it. The song has apparently been in the works since 2020, according to an Instagram post by Noodle. In an interview with Damon, he says that the track didn't quite make it into Song Machine Season 1, but might make it into Season 2. While we know that this didn't happen, and it ended up on Cracker Island instead. In an interview, Damon said this about New Gold.
I met Kevin in the hills behind Malibu at some beautiful little studio. He came to me with the 6/4 bass loop. It took a long time because I don't usually write to bass lines. The bass line usually comes afterwards. The chords come first. There's many different versions of that. But then Booty Brown very kindly agreed to come and help me. We were in Mexico at the time, and we somehow worked out the puzzle.
So maybe Booty Brown contributed to the track in other ways, I don't know. Moving on, Skinny Ape and Possession Island were played live. Cool. And then, in September, Baby Queen was fucking leaked. Yeah, it leaked. How? Possibly because it was on the FIFA 23 soundtrack, but I'm unsure. But it was released on the 30th alongside the game, so whatever. Oh, Damon, you silly, silly goose. It was then officially released as a single on the 4th of November. Okay, so apparently this is the first Gorillaz single since Trance to not have a collaborator. That's kinda cool, right? So that means it's just Damon singing here, and I'm not feeling this one. It's very slow paced, and I can respect that, but this one is just way too slow for my liking. The story behind this track is slightly interesting, being inspired by a Blur concert where a 14-year-old princess attended the gig, and Damon had a dream about it where he was 2D and the princess was all grown up and they spent the day together. Yeah, that's pretty interesting, but I think it's just that's the entire track. Damon just talking about his dream. The instrumental is a bit boring for me. It doesn't really do anything, it's just the same thing over and over. Same with the vocals, they just feel awfully samey. The song makes me want to fall asleep. Wait, dreams? Maybe that's the intention. This is a sleep song from Gorillaz. Holy shit, Damon, you genius, you did it again, great job! I always pretend this song is about Murdoch due to this awful fucking TikTok the official Gorillaz account posted. At least it has that for it going for it. I'll also praise the cover art again, it's really pretty honestly. I love Noodle in it, her shades are amazing. That's all I have to say about this track, it's just a nothing track! Let's just take a quick break from the songs to talk about the album cover art. It's just not good. The cover feels like a thrown together mess, just things they had laying around and decided, yup, that would be good on the cover. The singles unironically had way better cover art and that's sad. 2D especially looks really bad, like god damn. Murdoch is also really fucked up, just take a good look at him, Jesus Christ. At least Noodle and Russell look okay. Okay, scratch that. Russell looks good. Noodle is just inserted in. Okay, back to the album. The next single was only a month later and it was Skinny Ape. It was released alongside a virtual performance and I'll be brutally honest, I have a massive hatred for this track and it's definitely my least favorite from Cracker Island. Let me explain. Okay, so before this track was actually released, it was played live, right? Well, little old me decided that I wanted to listen to the album now, so I listened to all the tracks live, more specifically fan-made studio recreations of the songs. And Skinny Ape sounded great. Their lyrics were a bit but the rest was good, and then the song actually releases. Yay! I go and listen to it and ew, what the hell is this? This isn't good at all. This in fact stinks. Skinny Ape is such a bad track, but it actually sounds good live. I don't know how they managed that. How'd you fuck up so badly? So the beginning of the track is okay, the instruments sound fine, then the vocals just sound off. They don't sound good. I don't know what it is about them. Then the main part comes in and yucky, these instruments suck. Like, they just don't sound good to me in the slightest. Then the vocals sound bad again. What's going on? Most of it is really boring. It's just leading up to a big ol' explosion at the end. And these lyrics, I don't know what it is about this one in particular, but I'm a cartoon G. It just really upsets me. It doesn't make me very angry, but I just don't like it and makes me fucking recoil in disgust whenever I hear it. I know Gorillaz lyrics are always a bit silly, so it's not like a massive deal. Then the first drop hits and it sounds off. It's okay, but there's no power behind it if you understand what I mean. And then there's like one little instrument that just ruins the whole thing. I will admit, the ending with the repeating Skinny Ape is really good. I like that part, but if it takes 3 minutes out of a 4-minute song to get to a good part, then your song isn't very good. I know people really like this one, and I'll probably get hate for this, but it's the weakest Cracker Island has to offer, which means it can only go up from here. Yay! I have nothing to say about the quote-unquote live performance of the song, except for the fact that models from it were able to be ripped. Cool. So in 2023, a month before the album's released, Silent Running was released as the final single from Cracker Island on the 27th of January. The music video for this track was released on February 8th, just 16 days before the release of the album. Were they any good? Well... Silent Running is a song. It certainly exists. Honestly, I think the song is more overrated than anything. It's okay, there's nothing offensive about it. Nothing that makes me want to turn it off, but there's also nothing about it that makes me want to turn it on. It's painfully average. The lyrics are okay. Apparently they're about social media and addiction. Yeah, that's interesting. Doesn't feel like it has anything to do with those two things. The instrumental to the song feels awfully generic, at least to me. The intro is interesting, but then it just goes into a really boring song. Positive note, Adele Omoitayo, I think that's how you say that, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, is really good here. His vocals are amazing honestly, and he really boosts the song. Damon agrees with me, as he states in this interview.
He has been singing with Gorillaz for a long time. He has the most wonderful voice. I had sung that answering phrase, but I felt like it needed somebody like Aid to interpret it. And he's got a glorious emotional voice.
Tootie's vocals are fine, they're not bad, but not outstanding. The song feels like something you would hear once, go, yeah, that's okay, then move on, never listening to it again. There's not much else I can say about the song honestly, it's just a very nothing song. There's a version of this song on the deluxe album, which is a piano cover, and holy shit, so much better. Like, it's not even comparable to the regular edition. It's just superior. The chorus sounds so good, and Tootie's vocals feel like they have so much more emotion. Of course they couldn't release this as its own single, but maybe if the song kept the tone of this one, perhaps making the instrumental and vocals more somber. Don't know if they could achieve that, but oh well. Okay, so onto the music video associated with the song. It's set in a church setting, I think? There's a massive pit in the floor where Tootie is tied up and being prepared to be sacrificed. The animation here is still really good, as with most Gorillaz music videos. The models mix in really well to the real life footage, even if they're a bit cartoonish. There's this creature that tries to eat Tootie, which looks horrific, but in a good way. I really dislike how Russell feels like a side character nowadays. Noodle, Murdoch, and Tootie feel like they get way more attention. There's this one shot of Tootie being lowered down, which, okay, it just looks really bad. I know I was just praising the animation, but this shot just doesn't look good. I don't like how Tootie looks here, he looks way too cutesy for my liking. The story of the video is a bit confusing to me. Apparently, the woman, named Moonflower, doesn't want to sacrifice Tootie when he starts to cry, so she tries saving him. Then Murdoch starts hitting on her, which causes his stink juice to fly out of his coat, killing the monster. I probably need to catch up on the lore. So yeah, the music video is also fine. Murdoch feels strangely out of character here, mainly how scared of everything he is. Apart from running away from the police and ditching his bandmates, yeah, he would do that. At least the video looks pretty. Anyway, before we talk about the rest of the songs on the album, I want to talk about vinyl records. They're big old chunks of music which you can buy and hold. I can like them a lot. And I own Cracker Island on vinyl. It's nice to be able to hold albums in your sweaty hands and say that you own this. Gorillaz really likes releasing limited editions of their vinyl. Take for example, the 20th anniversary self-titled box set. It featured exclusive, never before released demos and lots of other goodies. Neat, right? So it's no surprise they did the same for the new album. But I want you to look at this image. These are all the versions of this one fucking album that they released. So there's the standard edition. Yeah, okay. There's the deluxe edition, kinda pointless cause there's no fucking deluxe tracks on it, but whatever. The collector's edition set with 10 different vinyl records, limited to 2,000 copies. What a fucking waste of plastic. But I guess having each song on one vinyl is neat. Then there's the Zoetrope one, limited to 8,000 copies. Okay, so when I first was writing the script, I said it was pointless, but then I looked it up and yeah, this was cool. This is like really cool, I want this one. And then, there's the 4 different picture discs, limited to 1,000 copies each. Please stop making these already. Then, there's the 7 color variants. Remember Plastic Beach? Yeah, this band doesn't care about that album anymore. Just pump out 7 different shades of pink vinyl and call it a day. It's depressing, honestly, how commercialized the Gorillaz have become. And why do we need a deluxe edition? Is it really that hard to have your songs on one album? I'm probably forgetting some exclusive shade of pink, but I honestly don't care. I'll continue this rant later because I have to cover stuff right now, but holy shit, this is sad. Time to move on to the actual album and talk about probably my favorite song from it. Oil is a great song. Fantastic even. Stevie Nicks is featured on this track. I don't listen to her at all, but holy shit, she did a fantastic job on this one. She sings alongside 2D, and it sounds amazing. The track originally featured Julian Casablancas instead of Stevie, but as stated as Damon.
Originally, on that song, I imagined Julian Casablancas, but that didn't work out for one reason or another. And then Greg had this inspired suggestion. He was like, I'm working with Stevie Nicks at the moment. Why don't I play her the tune and see if she likes it? She related to the lyrics, which was great, because my lyrics sometimes can be a bit inaccessible to some people.
But thank God they made the change. I don't know how good Julian would have been, but Stevie is fantastic here. 2D's vocals are also great here. The instrumental is really relaxing, especially the intro. Something about it is just perfect. Oil feels like a dream. It's really calm, but when it peaks, it feels like you've reached heaven. It doesn't really feel like anything else Gorillaz has made, and I love it for that. I think there might be a few tracks on the Now I would compare to this one, but I'd also compare it to Desolé. They both feel like they have the same tone, and both are great. The chorus is quite catchy. It gets stuck in my head every day. The main criticism for the song I see is the fact that Stevie Nicks is relegated to background vocals, which, yeah, I understand. Her voice is fucking amazing, so just having her in the background for this most of her song is a bit stupid. I still think the song works and is very good, but it could have been even better. If Stevie just had a verse to herself, that would have been cool. Still probably the best song on the album. Apparently, Stevie wanted to do an animated video for the song, but that sadly hasn't happened. And it probably won't. Real shame too. Seeing her in the Gorillaz style would have been great. Not much else to say about this song. Next track on the album is... Before I start this section, I want to make a statement. Damon Albarn is old. Okay, so he isn't that old, but he's certainly getting older. Why do I state this? Well, the subject matter of the song feels like it's one of those boomer comics or one of those phone bad animations your teacher would put on. Lyrics like, "It's a cracked screen world" really emphasize my point here. The instrumental here is boring. It's slow, kind of feels like it's trying to have a similar tone to Baby Queen. It does generally sound better than that song though, but unlike it, it never does anything. Baby Queen at least has points where it feels like it's trying to do something interesting, but here, nope, just sounds like the exact same song throughout the entire track. Sure, it tries to pick up during the chorus, but barely does. It's so fucking boring. You know what it sounds like? A fucking ringtone. One of those stock ones you'd find pre-installed on your phone. Speaking of phones, Damon decided to sample Siri for this song. Okay, he didn't exactly decide to. It was an accident, as Damon states.
The lovely thing about that, and no word of a lie, when I was doing the lead vocals, I had them on my iPad, and I put the iPad on the stand. And obviously, it was weighted down in some way, and Siri came on. So I'm singing, "It's a cracked screen world." And at first, I'm not aware of it. But Siri is answering each phrase because there was no music.
Yeah, that's cute, but the problem is it doesn't sound good. Not at all. It was honestly a horrible decision. It sounds just like a filler song, something like New Genius on Self-Titled. It's generally very forgettable as it sounds a lot like Cracker Island's other tracks. It makes me feel, well, tired. Jesus, I must be a comedy genius. Put me on SNL. I'm one of the greats, baby. Okay, let's move on before I get even more funny and I kill someone. Tarantula is good. It's not bad, it's not boring, it's just good. It's a bit bland, kinda has the same problem as the Tired Influencer, but it's okay. The song starts off strong. This intro instantly grabs my attention. But then the main instrumental comes in. Yeah, it sounds like the rest of the album again. I sometimes confuse this song with others from the album as it can feel really generic at times. But then, the chorus comes in and saves the song. Holy shit, this chorus is good. It's catchy and gets stuck in my head like Oil does. The song doesn't rely on any collaborators or anything. It almost feels like another Song Machine track. Fun fact, this song is actually the 4th on the vinyl and cassette versions of the album, while it being the 7th on the CD and Spotify releases. Strange, huh? Not complaining though, it feels like a palate cleanser on those releases from the Tired Influencer. The song generally feels like Chalk Tablet Towers from Song Machine, but more energetic. I like it more, honestly. There's a part of this song that's so good. It's a Times Run Out part. Holy shit, that part slaps. It's so memorable. The instrumental in the chorus really feels like you're in paradise, especially the piano. Without the piano, I don't think this song would have been as good as it was. I don't think the song is praised enough. It's actually amazing. Probably in the top 3 best of the album, even if it is a bit generic at times. I don't really listen to Bad Bunny, he's just not my thing. He's very popular and I can admit that he makes decent music, but I don't listen to him at all. Tormenta is not a Gorillaz track, it's a Bad Bunny track on a Gorillaz album. Damon is basically the guest here. There's no fucking trace of Gorillaz in the actual track.
The Bad Bunny song is the first song we recorded for the project. It's Bad Bunny meets Gorillaz.
No, it's not Bad Bunny meets Gorillaz. It's Bad Bunny sings a song while 2D is given a popsicle and eats it for the duration of the entire thing. The instrumental is okay, it's nothing special, but it invokes a beach feeling well. It's quite relaxing, but then Bad Bunny starts singing and yeah, I'm not a fan. It doesn't sound good to me. He sounds like he's not singing at all, and he just sounds like he's talking. The singing makes the song feel like really generic, and I can't say I'm a fan of it. There's this part where you expect a massive beat drop, but then it just doesn't. It's really strange, honestly. Then the song just stops after a while. It's so fucking weird, you don't expect it to end so suddenly, but for some reason it does. There's a nice piano in the outro, which I like. It's very pleasant, but that's the only thing I really like about the song. And it doesn't even feel like it belongs here. The rest of it isn't good. It sucks, actually. It feels repetitive, as in very repetitive. This could be because I don't understand the vocals, but songs like Latin Simone and Controlla, we'll talk about that one later, work well for me, even if I don't understand the lyrics. So it has to be something about the song itself. The song isn't the worst on the album, but it's nowhere near the quality I expect from Gorillaz. This one is probably the most popular on the album due to Bad Bunny's presence, which is understandable due to his popularity. If the song was him snoring, it'd probably still be the most popular on the album. Okay, probably not, but you know what I mean, right? Before I talk about the last song on the regular edition of Cracker Island, I want to talk about some things surrounding the album. Gorillaz has always had little side content other than the music for fans to enjoy, such as the G-Bites from Phase 1 or the whole Murdoch in jail saga from the Now Now. They're probably the whole appeal of the Gorillaz for some, as they give the band so much character. Cracker Island attempted to have side content with the way they distributed the lore. There were little YouTube shorts with Murdoch explaining the Cracker Island music video somewhat. Thanks for that, Mr. Nichols. You're a lifesaver with these short little clips. I think Murdoch's voice actor was the only one they could get for this phase, as the rest of the band barely speaks at all. Okay, 2D had a little podcast to be fair, but the other two, as far as I'm aware, didn't actually speak. One of the main ways they distributed the lore was an official Gorillaz Discord server. When it was opened, it was a mess, no real moderation in place, so people just started doing what people do and fuck around. Eventually they toned it down and it was okay. The band never interacted with the members directly, they just posted things whenever they felt like it. Apparently the server was meant to be shut down right after Cracker Island's release, but it hasn't, and so it's just existing nowadays. Just there, existing. There was a Smirnoff collaboration where Murdoch did a live stream. That was fun, 17 minutes of pure Murdoch. Then Gorillaz started doing these collaborator info things. I don't know how to describe them. They suck though. It's just the fucking shitty TikTok voice reading out text while the band members just stood there. Why couldn't Noodle voice these? Or Russell? Or Murdoch? Or 2D? Oh, speaking of TikTok, Gorillaz had one. They featured stolen art in one of them, so yeah, cool. These are slop, I'm not going to analyze them further. There wasn't much else for the album. Song Machine had the Machine Bites last phase, which were cute little interactions. Sure, Cracker Island had the band interact, but through text. It felt soulless, at least to me. Gorillaz overall just felt way more corporate this phase. The whole G-Foot thing with overpriced clothes, and also them trying to sweep the cancellation of their tour under the rug. It just didn't feel like Gorillaz. No more rejecting false icons, I guess. Let's talk about the last song on the maiden edition. Possession Island is very strange. After an album where most of the songs are pretty cheerful, the album just hits you with a song that's so depressing. The song is pretty good, it's also in the top 3, but it just doesn't fit on the album. It feels like it came out of absolutely nowhere. Let's compare. El Mana, possibly one of the most iconic Gorillaz songs. It fits on Demon Days overall, as the album has multiple songs with the same feeling as it has. Empire Ants, probably my second or third favorite Gorillaz song of all time. It transitions smoothly from Super Fast Jelly Fits, and it fits really well on Plastic Beach. But this song doesn't really fit on Cracker Island. I guess you could say that Skinny Ape makes it fit a bit better, but most of the song doesn't feel like anything like this. Apparently it was originally a song from Damon's solo project, so that's probably why it feels so different. The song itself, as I stated before, is brilliant. It feels like a send-off to Gorillaz. Holy shit, the instrumental here is amazing. It feels so fucking dramatic. Beck, the collaborator on this song, has vocals here. He is so good. The song was practically made for him. Even Damon says it himself.
We've known Beck for a long time. We've been joking over a beer about doing a Walker Brothers record together. This is the first time I've written something that felt appropriate to try that out. It was a tester for what we might do at some point.
Beck essentially makes this track. Without him, it wouldn't be half as good as it is. Like, holy moly, how do you make a song so good on an album so mediocre? I don't know why, I just like the song. I feel like it deserves better being on such a nutting album. Yeah, sure, there's gonna be more and more albums from Gorillaz, but if they ended on this song, I'd be happy. Sure, I might not be a fan of Cracker Island, but ending it with such a song and saying, that's it, would be satisfying, at least to me. But wait! We still have the deluxe edition to cover! Let's jump right in! Captain Chicken is something. It has Del come back, his last song appearance being self-titled. He still sounds great, but this instrumental is weird. You know what? I love it. It's so fucking strange. Almost feels like a sped up Oh Green World, at least to me at the start. And then it devolves into something. I don't know how to quite describe it. I at first thought this song was way too out there for me, but now I appreciate it more and more. It feels like you're going mad as Del sings about Captain Chicken. What is Captain Chicken? It's the guy singing. Duh, are you fucking stupid? But sadly, there is a problem with this song. It's really short, like super fucking short. Like so short, it's practically over by the time it feels like it's begun. 2 more verses, it would be great, honestly. Also, I hear the fucking Terraria Duke Fishron hurt sound in this song. I swear on my life it's there. It probably belongs on the deluxe edition, if I'm being honest. It would receive tons of backlash if it was on the regular one. It's great for what it is anyway. This is a short segment as the song itself is really short, so let's move on to the next song. Controller features MC Bin Laden, a Brazilian singer and songwriter. What a name. He's surprisingly very good here. His vocals have so much personality to me. I also don't understand what he's saying, but he raps in such a rhythm, it's very appealing. Apparently he's quite popular, which is neat. I'd say he deserves the attention, as from this track I like him well enough. It also helps that this still feels like a Gorillaz track featuring him, not a track by him featuring 2D, as 2D sings the chorus here. His vocals are also very good here, like usual. The instrumental here had to grow on me, to be honest, but I think it's very unique and actually really good. They fit well with the vocals from MC Bin Laden. I don't know why this isn't on the main album. Is it because of his name? If that's the case, that's stupid. This song is so much better than most of the fucking album. Comparing this to Tormenta, it easily beats out that song. It has so much more oomph to it, like it's actually trying to do something. It also fits the cult theme of the album very well, at least for me. 2D's lyrics feel like Thundercats and Cracker Island in the song, which is a neat parallel. There's a music video for this track, but it doesn't have any involvement from Gorillaz themselves, so I don't think I need to mention it. It's a bit sad that this got relegated to the deluxe edition, where fewer people will listen to it. Actually, never mind. It's got more listens than some other songs from the actual Cracker Island album. Damn. On to the last song from the deluxe edition. Before I cover this track, I just want to acknowledge the sad passing of True Great Dove. May you rest in power. So, this track is The vocals from David Gray, he did a great job here, like usual. The rest of it feels very dull. Dawn Penn is featured on this track alongside De La Soul. She barely feels like she's in the track, she just does a verse and doesn't do anything else. The instrumental is painfully generic. The entire track just feels unfinished. It also ends abruptly, just like Captain Chicken. If the track had a few more verses, then it probably would have been great, but now it's just forgettable, which is very sad. I don't think this belongs on the main album, it's Curt Straight. Considering how bad the tracks on the actual album are, that's kinda sad. I was expecting more from this one when the track list got revealed. Nearly every other De La Soul track is great, this is the only exception. What a pitiful end to this video. Oh, and by the way, I'm not covering the new Gold remix cause it's whatever. Cracker Island had potential. The cult theme was interesting as a concept, it was unique. The collabers seemed like they would make this album one of Gorillaz' best. It started out great with its first single. How the fuck did it end up the way it did? I honestly don't know. Could be because Damon was more focused on the new Blur album, or maybe he just didn't give a shit. We can speculate, but it won't change this album's quality. The sad part is that it did really well. Like, it reached number 1 in the charts in the UK. The previous Gorillaz album to do that was Demon Days. That's kinda horrifying as it tells Gorillaz that this is okay. That an album of this quality will do well and they don't need to try. Okay, I'm fairly certain that's not gonna happen. Damon Albarn is extremely talented and I'm certain the next album is gonna be so much better. There's so much about this album that is questionable. 5 singles before released? That's half of the entire album. If the album had a theme it kept to, that would have been sick. You know the song Murdoch has got from D-Sides? Imagine if we had an album dedicated to Gorillaz experimenting with metal. That would have been fucking sick. Might have turned out strange, but it would have been so cool. But no, we got Cracker Island. Apparently their next album is supposed to be mostly rap themed, I think. And that's great. I hope it's good. Better than this one anyway. Maybe in a few years I'll look back on this album. It'll grow on me maybe. But right now I'll go back to Humans. Thank you very much. Hopefully you all enjoyed watching this. I may have gotten a few things wrong, so if I did, I'll probably put that stuff in a pinned comment down below. Sorry if this took a while. I hope it was worth the wait. Again, if you don't agree with my take, please don't murder me. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you wanna. Good night.